Well, we know what it's like to be in need after a disaster, don't we? And a Canterbury couple whose business was devastated by Cyclone Pam in Vanuatu is supporting an appeal to give to those affected in the stricken island. Here's Jared McCulloch.
Giving to those who need it most. This container is being used as a drop-off point, chocker full of goods thanks to the kind people of Canterbury. It's been a tough week for the Vanuatu community, devastated by Cyclone Pam, destroying everything in its path, including homes, businesses and livelihoods. But only 6.5 hours away by flight, Canterburyans have jumped on board to help, supplying tents, blankets and even furniture. This Canterbury couple were there when it happened. They own a resort in Port Vila, the capital and largest city in Vanuatu, and they're thankful for the generosity.
There's been total devastation in Vanuatu and people are going to need a lot of help for a long time.
This is the aftermath of their resort. They got off fairly lightly compared to others on the island, left with nothing. And they say it was a surreal feeling when it struck, acting quickly to keep their guests safe.
We were pretty prepared for it, and we were had a fair idea what was coming. We never knew the magnitude of it, and it obviously gave everyone a fright when you get a Category 5 cyclone coming over. But yeah, we actually had a a bunker type situation for ourselves, but we had about 35-40 guests in the house at the time, so we had to get them right. We had cyclone shutters up.
And reassuring guests they'll be okay.
Feeding people, making sure they're okay. We had no power, no water, so just explaining how normal services weren't going to work and what they needed to do.
And after the storm had passed, the island was evacuated, with aid and defence groups coming in to help. Around 50 people on the island work at the resort, and around 70% of them have been left homeless, but many of the families have supported them.
A lot of them have lost their homes, and obviously they have to bunk down in another family house or whatever until such time as they can rebuild their house. So they are very resourceful people, and they do very quickly rebuild their houses, and a lot of them have already put their houses back up, although in a very basic manner, and back living there. But yeah, they're an incredibly resilient bunch of people.
Around 65,000 people across Vanuatu are homeless. 17 people were killed. David says at this stage, with one container nearly full, they could be seeking another.
Pretty much going to play it by ear and seeing how much stuff's been donated. I think by the looks of it, maybe 2 containers of stuff. I know there's a lot of school supplies, and some schools have donated school tables and chairs and things like that. So, all the things we don't think about that's really, disappeared. There's most of the schools on some of the outer islands have just been completely destroyed, so they've got to start right from the beginning.
Juliana is the sister of Rose, working at the local primary school in Christchurch, and says the students have helped out immensely.
Sitting back is not an option. We're taking action to help in any way we can. So our girls are really getting behind this one and bringing clothes in. We've got a lot of girls who are taking action in their own communities, in their own time, if you like, doing some fundraising and just wanting to help out in any way they can.
As we were filming, more items were being added to the massive stock already in the container. A generous gift from a community still working through their own recovery.
The earthquakes have made us think harder about what that's like. We can empathise a little bit with what it's like to go through a natural disaster, and we know what it's like to receive help when it's needed.
The couple are waiting on quotes regarding the cost of repairing the building, and they say they've lost a lot of business, but that's not their immediate focus. They'll be heading back to the stricken island at the end of the week to help out the best they can. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.